touching your spirit, enriching your soul. Taylormade Inspirational Radio with Matthew Taylor and Walter Richards. From Paris, California, this is the Mind Line on Taylormade Inspirational Radio. Hi, I'm Walter Richards.
And I'm Matt Taylor.
And sometimes we're given two choices in life, Matt. And this particular inspirational story that you gleaned up out of the files here, we're happy that you did that, is about Jerry. Now, Jerry was the kind of guy who you love to hate. He was always in a good mood and always had something positive to say. When someone would ask him how he was doing, he would reply, "If I were any better, I would be twins." Now this all brings up the subject of attitude. How do you approach life? How do you look at life? Do you look at the proverbial glass half empty or half full?
That's right. You know, life has many options. And the outcome of our life, or the expand of our life, or the picture of our life is going to be because of how we handle our life's situations.
That's right. How are you painting the picture
right.
when you're in it? Now, getting back to Jerry, he was a unique manager because he had several waiters who had followed him around from restaurant to restaurant. The reason the waiters followed Jerry was because of his attitude. There's attitude again. He was a natural motivator. If an employee was having a bad day, Jerry was there telling the employee how to look on the positive side of the situation. Matt, seeing this style really made folks curious about Jerry. So one day, this particular author of this story went up to Jerry and asked him, "I don't get it. You can't be a positive person all of the time. How do you do it?"
Jerry replied to him, "Each morning I wake up and I say to myself, I have two choices. You can choose to be in a good mood, or I can choose to be in a bad mood." And Jerry chooses to be in a good mood.
He made a choice. Two choices: good mood, bad mood. He chose to be. He chose the good. The good. Now, each time something bad happens, the story goes, Jerry said he could choose to be a victim, or he can choose to learn from it. He chose to learn from it. Every time someone comes to him complaining, he can choose to accept their complaining or point out the positive side of life. Well, again, he chose the positive side of life each and every day. Matt?
Yeah, that's right. And this person that was telling the story, he says, "Yeah, right, it's not that easy." He was protesting or disputing Jerry's outlook.
And again, Jerry said, well, life is about choices. When you cut away all the junk, every situation is a choice. You choose how you react to situations. You go out in the rain. Do you complain about that it's raining, or do you take precautions?
An umbrella.
Right, you take an umbrella. I mean, you can't dodge the raindrop, so you just you deal with it. Okay, this is how I'm gonna either choose to be in a good mood or bad mood. The bottom line is your choice how you live life.
That's right. And that can be an inspiration to others as well, because the person that's telling this story, he goes on to say how when he left the restaurant business, he went on to start his own business, and he used all of these things that he learned from Jerry.
Now, here was a test for Jerry's way of looking at life. Several years later, the story goes, Jerry did something you're never supposed to do in a restaurant business. He left the back door open one morning and was held up at gunpoint by 3 armed robbers.
Right.
While trying to open the safe, his hand, shaking from the nervousness, slipped off the combination. The robbers panicked and shot him. Luckily, Matt, Jerry was found relatively quickly and rushed to the local hospital.
Yeah, and after 18 hours of surgery, he didn't know if he was going to live or not, and weeks of intensive therapy and what have you. Jerry really had to use what he had been talking about all the time.
And he told the story that when he was in that trauma situation, and again, this is someone who chose the positive side of life here. When he was in that trauma situation, the nurses and the doctors had him for dead, and he was on the floor, and he remembered what he kept hearing. He said the paramedics were great. They kept telling him he was going to be fine. But when they wheeled him into that emergency room, he saw the expressions on the faces of the doctors and the nurses, and he got really scared. In their eyes, he read, "He's a dead man."
Right.
And right then and there, he knew he needed to take action. What did he do, Matt?
Well, there was a big burly nurse, he says, he shouted to, and he said, she asked if I was allergic to anything, and he says, yes, I am allergic to something. And the doctors and the nurses, they stopped working, they stopped doing what they were doing, and he says, I took a deep breath and yelled, "Bullets."
They all started laughing, and then once he kind of broke the ice before they put him on ice, so to speak, he said, "I'm choosing to live. Now you guys operate on me as if I'm alive, not dead."
That's right.
And Jerry lived. He lived, thanks to the skill of his doctors and the nurses, but also because of his amazing attitude, Matt.
That's right.
He learned from, that's what his co-workers learned from him, that every day you have a choice, two
That's
choices.
right. And you know, I'll quote this, don't know who said it, but your attitude will dictate your aptitude.
Right. Not altitude, attitude.
That's right. Your attitude.
Your aptitude to the attitude.
That's right.
and no, this is really, we want to really just bring this home here and just make a point that you wake up every morning. That in itself is a blessing. You have another opportunity.
That's right.
To make a difference this day. You wake up, hey, I'm here. Let me make the best of it. Let me use my energy to energize others around me, even if they're starting off the day in a somber mood. So we all have something to be thankful for, inspired for each and every day. You make the choice, Matt.
That's right.
All right,
the choice is yours.
That's right, the choice is yours. And the choice is yours to be inspired by Taylormade Inspirational Radio and the Mind Line. We thank you for joining us. I'm Walter Richards.
And I'm Matt Taylor.